I paint. I don't know if you know that, but you do now. I do paintings and things when I'm bored. I used to do it for school, but now that art is finished, I do it for fun. And some of my paintings I quite like this Avatar one, which I'm quite proud of. This took me about an hour. It's just on a flimsy bit of paper, but I like it. Yeah, that took me a long time. I basically copied that off the cover of my DVD that I have, and it went quite well, I think. Then I did the Hulk. Now, I copied this off of a picture that I found on the internet, actually. I just typed in the Incredible Hulk into Google Images. This came up and I painted it. Again, I like this. Basically, what I figured with these two is that it'd be interesting to paint skin tones, but using different colours like green and blue, just to see how that would work, and I thought it would be interesting, and I was right, and it was, and I'm proud of these. This was also around the time when I was really obsessed with the Avengers, so I also painted Iron Man, which I quite liked. I think actually this was the first one I did, and this took me about an hour and a half, because I just couldn't get this colour right, and eventually I gave up, but I'm quite happy with the way it turned out. Yeah, it took a long time, and I'm happy with this, sort of. This is the best it was going to get. I'm not going to improve upon it at all. Yeah. Then I have a few ones that I did on canvases, like this. Now, I've never played the game that this is from. I don't even know what it is, or who this character is, but he looked badass, and so I painted him. This took me a really long time. It took me about 2 hours. And basically, I was home alone. My grandparents had been over, but they and my mum and my brother had gone out. And so I was stuck at home by myself. And I painted this. And it took me, all the time they were out, it took me about 2 hours. And that was... It turned out alright. It's not my favourite. Apparently it is a lot of people's favourites, but it's not mine. I'm not that keen on it, but... It's alright, and I like it. On the subject of games that I've never played or even heard of, I have heard of this one. Metal Gear Rising: Revengeance. I painted the person. Again, I don't know what his name is. I painted him, and I think that's quite good. I just typed the character's name into Google Images. I can't even remember what it was now, but my friend told me to, just to see how cool he looked, and it came up with this, and I painted it, and he was like, "Oh my god, that's awesome!" So I was like, okay, apparently that's awesome. And yeah, I like this. Do you? I'm also a huge Harry Potter geek, as you probably know, so this, a lot of people didn't understand the red and the green lightning. That is supposed to represent Priory Incantatum. And apparently that's not immediately obvious. I thought it would have been. But nope. Apparently people need that explaining to them. Harry Potter. I didn't find a picture like this on the internet, actually. I took a picture of Harry and a picture of Voldemort, and I stuck them together using computers, and then painted it. Apparently there is a picture, actually, though, you can find of this. My friend told me. He said, "Surely you just copied that off a picture off the internet. I've seen that picture." And I said, "No. I just made that picture and then, just painted it." And he went, "No, I've definitely seen it elsewhere." And I was like, "Oh, I'm not going to bother checking because don't need to." It worked. I'm very happy with this one. I really like this. And the other one I'm really happy with is my Doctor Who one, which also took me quite a long time. I first had the idea when I went on to Tickld, which is this website, community thing. You should definitely look it up, tickld.com. And I basically put up a picture saying, "Give me ideas of things to paint." And they said, either an empty child or a silent. So I did both. At first I decided to just do a silent, because they look really cool to paint, but then I decided to do an empty child as well, because I thought, you know what, the silent is going to be entirely in black and white, so having a colour person in front of that would be a nice contrast, and I thought that worked well. I did steal both of the images just off the internet, and I have these quotes that I wrote on in Sharpie, because I can't write in paint because that'd be ridiculous. It says, silence will fall when the question is asked. Are you my mummy? I also have this Alice in Wonderland one that I did, but I don't like that, and I'm not proud of it at all. So we won't go into that, and I hate it, basically. So let's never speak of this again. In the response to the same picture that I put up on Tickld, somebody came up with a really ridiculous suggestion. Basically, they said they wanted a cliff, and off that cliff they wanted to be a waterfall, and at the top of the waterfall they wanted a character from Dragon Ball Z standing there with over 9,000 written in a banner above his head. He also wanted Chuck Norris with a lightsaber, bushes at the top of the cliff, at the top of the waterfall, planets in the sky, and halfway down the cliff they wanted Iron Man with an energy sword stabbing a tiger shark, and they wanted a bald eagle with the words America above it, as well as a cat with a moustache and a tuxedo holding a cup of tea with a British flag on it, riding a unicorn that was crapping rainbows, and Warwick Davis in a rubber dinghy. So I did. I also wrote Disabled Ninja in huge letters here, because that was the username of the person who told me to do it. I didn't manage to do the eagle because there just wasn't enough room, so instead I did the US flag and wrote America on that. But you can see that everything else is there. I have the over 9,000 thing there, right next to Chuck Norris with a lightsaber. I also have Iron Man holding an energy sword. I don't know if you can quite make out that that's Iron Man, but it is. Next to the tiger shark, which has blood coming out of its face. Then a unicorn that doesn't really look like it's crapping rainbows, but it is, being ridden by a cat in a tuxedo and a moustache and a cup of tea. That's a very big cat. Actually, I've just realised it's a very big cat. But you can just about make out Warwick Davis in a rubber dinghy. That took me about 4 hours, so I was happy with it at the end. I was like, okay, I'm just going to leave it at this. It's not going to get any better. I'm not going to bother trying to do the eagle because it'd be too much effort and I can't paint eagles. So that'll do. And I posted that on the website, and I put his name in, Disabled Ninja in the title of it, and he saw it and he liked it very much and he thanked me, and it was all good. So it was fine. I apologised about not putting the eagle in, but he said that he could sort of be lenient on that. Have you done paintings? If you have, tell me in the comments. Like and subscribe and things. I say that every time. But there will be a link to Tickld in the doobly-doo. So check that out. It's very funny and I like it. It's a good website. Bye!